We've been asked by the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds to bring to your attention the fact that it is an offence to take a kestrel from the wild, possess an illegally taken bird, or possess one not registered with the Department of the Environment, and that these offences could carry penalties of up to £1,000 per bird. In 10 minutes, an anniversary for BBC2, which got off to an unfortunate start when a fire at Battersea Power Station blacked out its opening night transmission. That's just one of the incidents recalled by Dennis Toohey in 20 Years Ago Today, which looks back at some of the programmes transmitted on BBC2's opening night, remembered by, among others, television critic Milton Schulman, Pamela Donald, and the channel's first programme chief, Michael Peacock. The time now is 5 to 8. And here's the news on 2 with Jan Leeming.
The Libyan embassy siege. The Cabinet Security Committee reply to Libya's message. The government's latest plans for ending the siege are on their way to Libya. They followed Libya's response to British proposals. Details of the reply are being given to Mrs Thatcher by the Home Secretary Leon Britton at Chequers tonight, but he says an early end to the siege is unlikely. In Tripoli, the Libyan message was handed over by the Foreign Minister to the British Ambassador. Kate Adie is in the Libyan capital.
The British Ambassador's meeting with the Libyan Foreign Minister, Dr. Traiki, this morning was described as friendly, and it seems that negotiations are well underway. The British have told the Libyans that they will specifically not use force to enter the Libyan bureau. They'll only go in if invited. After yesterday's demonstration in front of the British Embassy on the seafront in Tripoli, the building today has about 24 Libyan policemen around it, and the atmosphere has eased considerably. British Embassy staff are now able to move around without restriction, and the general feeling is that negotiations are proceeding and that the next move has to come from London and the British government in response to this morning's talks.
I've had a further meeting with Dr. Traiki today, that it was again in a friendly atmosphere, and that we, the British and the Libyan side, are continuing to work for a peaceful solution of the problem. I don't want to go beyond that.
Are you optimistic that this will be brought to a satisfactory conclusion?
Well, we're still working together in the atmosphere I've described, so I don't think I'd say I'm optimistic. I'm certainly not pessimistic.
The latest round of top-level talks ended in London this evening. The so-called Cobra Committee, which is in charge of the handling of the siege, has been discussing the proposals sent from Libya.
Mr. Britton chaired 2 sessions of the top-level Security Committee. With him were Metropolitan Police Commissioner Sir Kenneth Newman, Foreign Office Minister Richard Luce and their officials. The committee and their officials have spent the day studying Libyan proposals for ending the deadlock in St James's. The proposals fall far short of what the British government wants, and tonight counter-proposals have been sent back to Tripoli. Whitehall officials aren't revealing details, a measure of how delicate negotiations have become, and evidence too about how vital it is to work quietly behind the scenes with someone as unpredictable as Colonel Gaddafi. No one expects an early settlement, but what optimism there is here in Whitehall is based on the fact that the Libyans are at least talking. And are you optimistic of an early settlement?
I'm never optimistic or pessimistic until the settlement is obtained.
But in the meantime, the siege stays?
Certainly. In the meantime, the important thing is that nobody's getting out of that building or into it without police supervision and consent, and that certainly is continuing at the moment.
And have you made that clear to the Libyans tonight?
They know that perfectly well. There's no doubt. Anyone who tries to go anywhere near that square will see that very, very clearly.
Police are keeping in constant touch by telephone with the Libyans inside the People's Bureau, and there are direct contacts through go-betweens who've taken in food, drinks and cigarettes. The operation's being watched by psychiatrists who are advising the police on the negotiations. Police surrounding the screened-off area around the embassy building are now changing shifts regularly. The Metropolitan Police Commission and the head of the anti-terrorist squad have both visited the scene. Other police were on duty outside the London mosque where Arabs were among the Muslims celebrating their Sabbath day. Nottinghamshire miners have been ordered to strike by their local union leaders. After a special delegate conference, their Nottinghamshire General Secretary, Henry Richardson, whose members have been working during the dispute, said, "We're calling on everyone in Nottinghamshire to come out." Mark Austin reports.
Once again in this dispute, the spotlight was on Nottingham's union headquarters in Mansfield. After yesterday's special delegate conference in Sheffield effectively ruled out a national ballot and called on all miners to strike immediately, the question for Notts delegates, what to do now? The small group of pickets outside had their ideas. Inside, the delegates met for 3.5 hours, and then the General Secretary emerged with the decision.
No, official.
Excellent.
Tell us, but we want you to picket peacefully.